inside. You and I can be anything if we only take the time to try. We can climb over anything together, you and I.
Poliomyelitis, often called polio or infantile paralysis, is an infectious disease caused by poliovirus. In about 0.5% of cases, there is muscle weakness resulting in an inability to move. This can occur over a few hours to a few days. The weakness most often involves the legs, but may less commonly involve the muscles of the head, neck, and diaphragm. Many people fully recover in those with muscle weakness, but about 2 to 5% of children and 15 to 30% of adults die. In 2016, there were 37 cases of polio and 5 cases of vaccine-derived polio. This is down from 350,000 wild cases in 1988. In 2014, the disease was only spreading between Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Pakistan. In 2015, Nigeria had started the spread of the wild poliovirus, but it reoccurred in 2016. Hello and welcome to another interesting edition of Beyond Challenges on OSRC Television. My name is Wale Akintade and I'm your host on the show. You will agree with me that having to live with such a mean disease as polio, a disease that literally reshapes your life and destiny at such a tender age, cannot be easy. But as difficult as it may seem, there are survivors that are truly beyond challenges, and our guest today is one of such people. Why not make yourselves comfortable as I introduce to you our guest for the week. We'll be right back.
What I'm about to share with you is a story that will make you think twice before you complain. A story that had a huge impact on me and that I'll probably never forget. It's a story of a powerful man with a powerless body. A story that should be known by all of us, and it begins many years ago when Irfan started to gradually become incapable to move because of a rare disease, until finally he lost control over his body and has been like this for over 19 years. Now the only thing he can move is this, without a doubt the most powerful finger in the world, because this story has a positive twist. Irfan, who's living an incredibly tough life that not many of us could survive, taught himself English and with this one finger managed to write 3 books. He's 37 years old, but many years ago doctors said that he will live only up to 18, which means he has no time to waste on complaining. He only has time to focus on writing his books, sharing his thoughts with the world and making the best out of his situation. You and me are not forced to be in bed. You and me can move more than just one finger. You and me can do whatever we want, but you and me, we choose to complain. We complain about the slightest things in life. When I'm sore after a workout, I complain about it. I complain when I have too many messages to respond to. I complain when my grandparents call me too often, or sometimes I complain about the unstable weather, which puts me in a mean mood. Forgetting that I'm lucky to be able to work out, have many friends, loving grandparents, and that I can feel the rain on my face. And this happens to all of us. As we spend time complaining about things we should not complain about, let's remember the story of Irfan, who has been a real inspiration to me, and now hopefully to you. He He is the definition of a hyperhuman. And you know what? If you ever meet him, you won't see him complain because he already started working on his next book.
Wale Akintade is from Ondo State, Idanre local government. He was born about 4 decades ago to the family of Mr. and Mrs. Akintade. He is the first child of the family.
Okay. So I started primary school from Twin School for the Physically Handicapped because I couldn't get a normal school to go when I started my primary school. So I was fortunate to be one of the pioneer students of Authority School for the Physically Handicapped in Kare, where I bagged my primary school certificate. After that, I proceeded to St. John Mary Unity Secondary School, Owo, where I also had my secondary education for 6 years, after which I proceeded to the then Ondo State Polytechnic, now Rufus-Giwa, for my national diploma in accounting. After that, I looked for a place to have my IT. I had my IT in one of the microfinance bank, though defunct now, but I still managed to have my compulsory IT for 1 year, after which I proceeded to have my higher national diploma at Federal Polytechnic, Ado Ekiti, when I graduated in 2002, year 2002. Then from there, I went for my compulsory National Youth Service Corps at Yobe State. Then, after I finished that NYC course and program for 1 year, I decided to go into youth and disability-led programs, where I had a lot of fellowship courses in leadership and issues that goes around person with disability. At the moment, I'm currently a staff under Ondo State Government. My designation place is Office of the Accountant General, where I currently hand my...
According to what he was told, he was only 3 years old when it happened.
Based on the information I got from my parents, I was told that I had little fever and I was rushed. As at that time, we were living at Ibadan. I was rushed to a UCH hospital where I was given injection, and about 2 days after, based on what my mommy told me, that I couldn't wake up at the right time, and they make effort to see that what could be responsible for Wale's not waking up in due time. So at the end of the day, they felt that my system was not okay, so I was rushed back to the hospital, and it was there the medical director at that hospital now confirmed that I've lost my limbs to polio, and that was how the whole situation of my life changed then. So my parents they were somehow, they felt so bad that that is not what they bargained for in life. But thereafter, I started taking some medical medications to see if the condition can still be resolved. But as God will have it, the ditch has been done, and I went for reconstructive surgery to put things in normal way. So at the end of the operation, I was recommended for usage of crutches and calipers. And since then, that has been the way I move around town to say that I will still meet up in life with my issues. So it wasn't an easy thing for my background. It wasn't an easy thing growing up, seeing yourself to be someone with disability. So my story was a bit challenging.
He faced numerous challenges in life, but none was as painful as having decisions made for him within his family.
Yeah, you see, in our society, persons with disabilities, we are having a lot of challenges. Let me say for in my own case, at times moving around town, I remember if I try to stop taxi to pick me, if other people, for example, let's say I'm at old garage now, and I'm going towards First Bank area, if I stop taxi that I'm going to First Bank, me and looking at me on crutches, they may say no, they are not going. But somebody by my side that is going to ESO, they will tell the person to enter. So I will not be wondering, how will you get to First Bank area without passing through ESO? So immediately such things do happen, I will just know that if not because of my disability, maybe the person feel that he doesn't have time to be stopping for me before I move on with my moving with my crutches, or maybe I'm with wheelchair. So as a result of this, the attitudinal issue make me to feel some of that, if not because of my condition now. The way other people are rushing to the car is the same thing I will do my own. While I was in school, I remember that lecture theatres where we take lectures are a bit far from those days. At times I will get to my lecture room now, I'll be sweating as if I just come out from a gym house. Why? Just because the way I have to trek in the morning to attend to my lectures is not the same. It's not the same way other students will feel. Because when I get to the lecture rooms, I will still need like 5 minutes to be able to put myself together before I can sit down to listen to a lecture. But a person that doesn't have any disability, we don't have such thing, because they just move freely. You can see them. Even when I'm on the road, I see my friend, oh, Wale, how are you? Good morning. And that is how they just leave me. So issues like that will make me feel somehow that assuming I'm not a person with disability now, I will do just like my mates are doing. And when we talk on family issue, anytime that there are certain tasks that children ought to take in the house, I will feel somehow when certain issues they don't want to discuss it maybe when I'm around. If I try to even call them to the attention, can you do it? But you're supposed to even say it. It is me that will not tell you whether I have the charisma or I have the power or ability to do this thing or not. Not that you just assume that, Wale, because of your condition. And mind you, I'm still part of this family. So something like that, when you see issues like that, it boils down to the fact that if not because of my disability condition, all these things will not be happening.
He who finds a wife has found a good thing, and Adebowale was lucky to have met his soulmate in life.
So actually, I met my wife in the church. So one of the Sundays, I just saw her at home. I love her. Me, I'm looking at her, like, okay. But the fear of will this lady accepted me or accept me started making me to be fearful. But as someone courage. So when I talked to her and show my interest, she was a bit skeptical about that. But I know that whether I'm living with disability or not, that issue of relationship, we just have to forge ahead. So just disturbing ourselves, I started disturbing her, showing my own sincere love that don't mind me based on my disability. Just think of how our future will look like. So citing a lot of examples of how I have been dreaming of how, okay, my children, my family, this and that. So at the end of the day, I scaled through the first order, which was me talking to her. Then the next order is now we need to go to the family. So it wasn't an easy task, and that is the normal thing person with disability face in the society. When you are now moving to the second stage of meeting your spouse, family, or relatives, it poses a big challenge. So, which I faced, it wasn't an easy task. The parents were not somehow in agreement with that. You have a lot of men outside. Why will you go for someone with disability? But I now told her that, well, it's not as if I'm mounting pressure on you. If you know it won't work, you can stop. But she reasoned with me that she saw future and in me that she's comfortable, that we should not mind what the challenges are, that both of us joining hands together, that we are going to solve. So when I had such thing from her, I felt that, oh, it is me now that is now left to take it up, because even the person that I'm still thinking maybe will be having a fairy heart is now the one that is being courageous. So that was how we started, and as God will have it, it was just a small ceremony from the family side, and the journey started. So, and now we are blessed with 3 children. The first one is about to enter the university. So we look back and we give God the glory how we started. So
Advising persons living with disabilities, Adebowale says,
my advice to person with disability outside is that you must first identify yourselves. Who are you? If you are able to answer that question on your own, then it is then you can be able to fly high. Based on what I told you, if I've been discouraged on my own, definitely I will lose the fight. You know, in this world, we are here to fight. We are here to struggle for for things. So whether you have disability or not, it is bound that you just have to fight for everything. But when we now have disability, that means you need to buckle up very well and fight for life. So as someone with disability, don't be defeated. Had it been that I've been defeated, people will just say, oh, Wale, sorry. That the more people say sorry to you, the more you are losing the fight. But if you are courageous and put yourself in a position where people will not be able to say sorry, then you are winning the fight. You are winning the war. So that has been giving me courage ever since I started growing up, from my primary school to secondary school to higher institution, and the way I see things. And not only that, don't just stay in a place because you have disability. Make every effort to harness every resources that comes your way. Make sure you seek knowledge. Like myself, before I was employed, I couldn't just remember how many courses, how many leadership courses I've taken, and I'm still on it. So it builds your capacity. Assuming I'm not educated, when job comes out, I won't have the prerequisite. I'm talking now. I know I'm still going places. My disability, I did not see disability in me because I've been striving very hard to do what everybody could not do. And to parents of the parents that are having person with disability at home, because of the awareness before the enlightenment, it still pains one's heart to see that parents at this age are still keeping person with disability at home. For what? These people you are hiding today may be governors, maybe commissioners, maybe senators tomorrow, because our disability is just something physical. Our own being is inside. So it is only people that have that are mentally challenged, or the mad people, that people will not reckon with. But when you know your disability is as a result of maybe you lose one limb or the other, the person in you is still there. So you make every effort to utilize the you in you to see that you are somebody. So parents that are still hiding children with disability, we are taking this opportunity to take them to school so that they can acquire education. Education is power.
It takes faith to walk 1,000 miles, and it takes faith to see what the eyes can see. You know that silence has a sound, and that love can say what 1,000 words can say. I've been to many places, I've seen so many faces. We're all human in the end. Oh.
I'm Wale Akintade, Executive Director of Renew Hope Foundation for the Disabled Initiative, a volunteer for Inclusive Friends Association, a project officer for Guarantee on Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, and currently a civil servant with the Ondo State government. I am beyond challenges.
We explain why the inclusion of people with disabilities is good for everyone. Meet Sarah. She's a smart girl who loves to sing and help her mother to cook. When she grows up, she wants to be a teacher and get married. Sarah has cerebral palsy caused by partial damage to the brain and therefore uses a wheelchair to move around. She's an outgoing person and whenever she needs help, she asks for it. But while Sarah can do most things herself, she faces many barriers. Some people's attitudes as well as physical and economic barriers make life difficult for Sarah. They say she can't be in a choir, and so far, no school has accepted her. If Sarah can't go to school, she won't find a job, and without a job, she will always be dependent on others. This is not only a waste of her skills, it's a violation of her right to proper education. But what can be done? It's not that hard. Everybody around Sarah can help her to live her life to the fullest and gain back her rights. We need to raise awareness, for example, in education programs. That way, Sarah's community understands the nature of her disability. After setting up a local support group for parents of children with disabilities, Sarah's mother can share her experiences with others. Now, the head teacher of the closest school knows that it's Sarah's right, like any other child, to be educated well. Teachers can get disability-specific training and support from a resource centre when needed. And we need to reduce physical barriers. Building wider doorways and wheelchair ramps benefits the elderly too. When given appropriate materials, people with visual impairments can study anything. With fewer barriers, a proper education and awareness in the community, Sarah has the same chance as others of getting the job she wants. Instead of depending on others, she is appreciated for who she really is, a person of many abilities. Whether someone uses a wheelchair, lives with vision or hearing problems, or has an intellectual or other disability, let's make sure our society includes them.
The time to try. We can climb over everything together, you and I.
Alright, you've heard God created all the people who work funny around the world. Find that which gives you happiness and do not throw yourself a pity party. You can follow us on Facebook, Beyond Challenges with Polio and on Instagram, it's simply Beyond Challenges. Until next week, remember polio is preventable via early vaccination. Although I'm a polio survivor and I am truly Beyond Challenges. What about you?
I can stand over anything. I can walk another mile. I can climb over anything if you are by my side. You and I can be anything if we only take the time to try. We can climb